The Indaba will shed light on the city's future electricity plans and how it will hopefully alleviate and eventually eliminate rolling blackouts. Let's take it there live.
It becomes slow to respond to disruption. We have heard terms like the utility death spiral used to suggest that the future for utilities such as ours is dead. And it is for these reasons that at City Power, we've actively participated in the industry dialogue, be it through AMEU or through any other associations and all the platforms that we've been given an opportunity to engage through. Our seasoned chief engineers, the likes of Mr. Paul Vermeulen, and our young and extremely capable engineers like Ifimwedi, also make a point of responding to calls from DMRE, NERSA, SALGA, and AMEU for comments on regulatory issues and changes coming in the electricity supply industry. We are in the energy transition. It is not something that we choose to participate in or not. The energy transition is happening whether we like it or not, and it is up to us to see the opportunities that we can leverage to make our city that city of opportunities for all. For today, please allow me to borrow from the concept of the energy trilemma. When we speak about the energy transition, the energy trilemma is the concept that really brings the old and the new. So I come before you to say, as City Power, we've looked at issues of energy security, energy affordability, and energy sustainability. Now, starting with energy security, if I may elaborate on the City Power perspective. Now, we procure 90% of our power from Eskom. Eskom has been facing load shedding, we all know this, since 2007. The reports have indicated at some point that they see load shedding carrying on possibly for the next 5 years. Now, if you look at the research by the likes of CSIR, is an indication that load shedding keeps on increasing year on year. We've got gaps in terms of capacity. And Eskom is cited saying that unless we are ready with additional capacity, we are all going to have problems. So therefore, we come before you as City Power to say we are here to ensure that there's energy security for the residents and businesses within the City of Johannesburg. Energy affordability. It is painful to note the studies that have been done that indicates that if you take the period for the past 10 years, 2011 to 2021, you are looking at over 174% increase in energy. Now, if you look at our city and you look at the needs of our people, this cannot be affordable. It is for that reason that we are quite thankful that the Executive Mayor took it upon herself to work with us as we challenged Eskom through the NERSA processes that then allowed us not to have such absorbent increases. Now, the Eskom CEO is reported to have said that Eskom needs a cost-reflective tariff. Now, for a fleet of power stations that is getting older and requiring more cash to savers, a cost-reflective tariff implies continuous increases for electricity supplied. Now, we've got this dependency on Eskom. We procure 90% of our power from them. It therefore means as their prices go up, we are then forced to pass those prices through to our customers. We absolutely have to do things differently. That is why we are here at City Power today. The third leg of the trilemma talks to energy sustainability. Again, 90% comes from Eskom. Their primary energy source happens to be coal. The 10% we procure from Kelvin. Their primary energy source happens to be coal. So, in the past, some of us used to think that this was only an issue for the environmental activists. But we have seen in recent years that investors are becoming more sensitive about environmental sustainability as well. There was an article in the Sunday Times on the 11th of November 2019 where we read that Sosol's institutional investors, who included Old Mutual Investment Group, Sanlam Investments, Abex, Coronation, Aeon, Megents, they wanted transparency on annual emissions totals and wanted to link emissions to executive pay. We have seen FirstRand, who owns FNB and West Bank, announcing that they will no longer be financing new coal power stations and also will not provide direct financing for new coal mines. Our customers are also looking at us to ensure that we go green. We are thankful that some of the suppliers have actually taken this call and are supporting the pledge towards low carbon future by committing to provide low carbon products. We see it in the technology space with the likes of Ericsson and Huawei, who are also here with us today. As I wrap up the energy trilemma, I recognize that our customers have started moving. They are already embracing the energy transition. Most of our customers are installing PV solar on their rooftop. Now here's the thing. At City Power, we applaud our customers for doing that. And we come here today to say we want to partner with our customers on that journey. And it is for that reason that we are also making a call to the private sector to also partner with us in terms of this energy transition. This partnership will be for energy security, so that we deal with the capacity constraints that City Power is faced with, so that we deal with the impact of load shedding together. This partnership will be for energy sustainability, so that we reduce the impacts on the environment. And of course, it will be for energy affordability, so that at the end of the day, electricity becomes available for everyone. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, when we look at the context of the energy transition and the many other challenges we face, as City Power, we are saying, let us collectively reimagine energy. So let us use today to share ideas and answer some of the following questions. How do we diversify our supply and portfolio? Perhaps City Power should not just be about distributing energy. City Power should not just be about procuring energy where the primary source comes from coal. Maybe City Power must also diversify into even product lines. That's something that we should be looking at. How do we use technology as an enabler for this transition? And how do we secure our infrastructure from vandalism and cable theft? We are thankful today that we've got researchers and industry organizations, we've got IPPs in our midst, we've got technology providers, we've got investors and funders, and ultimately each and every one of you, our attendees. We look forward to an amazing and energized 2 days as we set the foundation to build a golden city that provides affordable and sustainable energy to businesses and residents at large. I thank you. Nakens.
Did we hear the call? How do we change that little girl's future? How do we create a city with an opportunities for all? How do we ensure that we have an energy trilemma whereby we have reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy? And I'm sure sitting in this room amongst us, there are business people, researchers, lawyers, financiers who can make that dream come true. City Power has a unitary board which consists of executive and non-executive directors. The board is led by an independent non-executive chairperson who ensures that the board exercises its independent oversight role. I will now call upon our Ambassador Douglas Gibson, who is the chairperson of City Power's board.
Thank you, Program Director. I'm delighted on behalf of City Power to welcome our Mayor, MMC, City Manager, you've already heard from him, and you've already heard from our Acting CEO. I'd also like to welcome the visiting councillors, our own councillors, MMCs, members of the board of City Power, and all of the rest of you who are VIPs. Some of us have got these things on. We need that to tell you that we're very important, but you're very important to us because you're here. We were hoping to attract about 500 delegates, and in fact we've got several more than that. We've had to squeeze them in at the last minute, but let me say to you, please don't worry, we're going to give you a good lunch and you won't have to stop at McDonald's on the way home because you're hungry. I only became the chairperson of the Board of Directors of City Power on the 15th of February this year. When MMC Michael's son, and by the way, MMC stands for Member of the Mayoral Committee, and he's in charge of EISD, that portfolio. He approached me and asked me if I would consider joining the board. I didn't hesitate, largely because I've known him and followed his career for many years, and his work ethic is prodigious. He is also kind and generous and easy to work with. When I was appointed chairperson a few days later, I was also glad to serve our single shareholder, the Mayor, Dr. Mpho Palazzi, who's impressed all of us with her own energy, work ethic, and all-round ability to face and meet the requirements of running a great city like ours. I must share with you the fact, though, that several of my friends laughed when they heard I was joining City Power. One or two told me I was mad, and one said to me that the two most unpopular companies in South Africa are Eskom and City Power Johannesburg. Now, after 2 generations in law, in politics, in administration and in diplomacy, this sounded just the sort of challenge that I would welcome. And together, we are going to transform City Power into a successful 21st century energy company able to give our citizens the service to which they're entitled and make the city and Johannesburg proud. For the moment, though, I settled those sceptical friends of mine by telling them that if the lights work as they're doing now, then it's me. If they go off and they don't work, I've got nothing to do with it because I'm a non-executive director. The people to blame are Shifalaro and our MMC. And that's worked like a charm, but nobody's phoned me yet to compliment me when the lights are on. I'm just waiting for that. One of the pleasant surprises of this position that I'm so privileged to hold has been the fact that I've been able to work with some of the very best executives that I've come across in a very long career. You know, sometimes one hears all about people at state-owned enterprises and government officials and municipal officials. Well, my experience has been that senior officials of City Power are really quite outstanding, and it's a privilege and a pleasure to work with them. City Power has 4 imperatives in my view. They are firstly to provide a reliable supply of electricity to our customers. Secondly, to make a profit to enable the City of Johannesburg to do all the good things it would like to do and which the citizens of a great modern city demand. Thirdly, to comply with the mayoral and council directives and strategies. And fourthly, to conduct a business that's forward-looking, up to date, and observes all the ESG requirements, environmental, social and governance, so that our ethical impact and sustainability are assured. To achieve these imperatives, City Power needs to make a mighty effort. The City of Johannesburg, through City Power, intends embarking on a journey to inboard alternative energy solutions into our grid systems, primarily through renewable energy technologies. The aim is to enhance energy security and alleviate the enormous challenges of continuous energy interruptions. We've invited to this event speakers who will cover many themes, including alternative energy solutions, theft and vandalism of the electricity network, battery storage, waste to energy, and research and development in the sector. The Indaba is intended to gather all relevant and related stakeholders in the sustainable energy industry for their collective insight in order to endeavour to address current and future energy challenges to the city. In coping with all of these challenges, City Power has to keep its eye on the future. It has to transform from a simple distributor of electricity fed to us mostly by Eskom and partly by the 50 to 70-year-old Kelvin power station. It has to become an energy provider, and that's where everybody here comes in. That's why we're holding this Energy Indaba. City Power cannot do this all by itself. We need the support of the whole IPP community, of our customers, of the business and industrial community, many of whom must be converted from consumers to prosumers. Those are people who help supply. We are looking for innovation, for new thinking, for new ways of doing business, for public-private partnerships. This event will provide an opportunity for the invited companies to highlight their technologies and possible solutions. City Power plans to gather these inputs, prioritise the RFP documents to go out to the market as part of rolling out the energy mix strategy, as well as best practice vandal and theft-proof technologies. The latter is a problem faced by every municipality in South Africa and by Eskom and the railways. You may have seen estimates of the price our economy pays as a result of this theft. The figure is in the realm of tens of billions of rand each year. We need practical strategies. We need, as I say, a new approach. We need to face the problems, the challenges that we have, and we need national strategies, cooperation with our own JMPD, the SAPs at provincial and national level, and the active interest of the Ministers of Police, Trade and Industry, Transport, Cooperative Government, to name a few. Our Mayor is taking a close personal interest in this whole question and has already taken initiatives aimed at getting us away from hand-wringing and towards concrete action. MMC's son is leading efforts to obtain the support and cooperation of local communities who are the main sufferers when the lights are out for days or weeks as a result of the criminal acts of others. The topics in this Indaba are covered in the program. I think they're interesting and some of them are very exciting. They go all the way from alternative power producers right down to funding, and don't underestimate the importance of the funding of all of this, because if we are going to make money, that's City Power, if you're going to make money as independent power producers, we need to cooperate and we need each other. We hope that the opportunities that are
But we're coming out of that energy conference that's currently underway in Sandton. First up was Chifularo Mashaba, who's the acting CEO of City Power, talking about the electricity debt spiral, saying that this can be turned around, and saying that we're in an energy transition, but that this energy transition is bringing with it the energy trilemma, the dilemmas of security, affordability and sustainability. And of course, Douglas Gibson coming on there, also representing City Power.